So yeah, this is quite an old establishment, as far as I have it. You can see, I'm not sure how old, but you can see we have some big trees on this farm. Most of them are quite big, um, but we have a few young small trees here. Um, and here is one that we have here that you can see that is quite dry actually. The leaves, there's still some life in here. You can feel it on the branches, but it seems like this tree is battling a bit, and one of the reasons is basically, what do we have here? um, a lot of weed growing around the tree. You can see there is a drip irrigation installed here on this farm. So and yeah, okay, we are experiencing a very dry period now here in this area, so we don't have a lot of water. But in the case of what we have here is we have a lot of wheat basically growing around this tree. So this tree is basically competing for water with these weeds around it. So, and that's not what we want. We want something that is open and clear around the tree. The soil must be clear, and for enough water to go through into the soil around this tree through to the roots. We have some other ones here as well. This one is looking a bit better, but it's still the same issue that we have. We have the irrigation, but again, a tree competing with the weeds for water to grow. And then the other one, you can see this one is also just about dead, this tree. Very young tree. But yeah, too much weed around this area. Other things that we see, this is a farm it's not really in export production at the moment, as it is. I know there was copper that was sprayed onto these trees, around these trees. But other things we see is when with branches hanging around the tree, these trees are not in production at the moment. You can see some young avocados coming through here. But basically, this is something you don't want. Is a tree that's with branches hanging on the ground. So there's not really pruning that's been done around this farm. So ideal, what you want is basically all these branches must be cut away. These branches, like this one here that we have here. So we basically have to tree on the top where that your branches are away from the ground, and you don't have fruit. When these come to production, they will start to sag and fruit hanging on the ground, and that's not what you want. This is also a big tree, so the thing you're gonna have here with production, with harvesting, is you're gonna have ladders and things, and it takes more labor to harvest a big tree like this that we have here. I'm thinking if we have, this is probably a good example of the size of a tree where it should be. Maybe even just a little bit bigger, but this is about the size of a tree. But again, no pruning done around the tree. But for harvesting, this is a much easier tree to harvest. So less labor on the farm. Then we can look at soil. This farm is basically this orchard is on a slope. So for water, that's not too bad. We have some some reaches here that's around this farm, and that's what you want for an establishment. So your water flow should be good in the raining season, and also for your water to go through to the roots, but not lying not causing root rot with water laying on the bed of the soil along the root. So yeah, your reaches is basically there to take your water through to the roots, but not going to lie in the roots and slow and take it away from the roots of the tree, as that would cause, with water around the root of the tree, will cause root rot on the tree. So it's basically for more better water flow through to the roots, but also that's basically what it is for. Here's one that was on you can see is on a ridge. So basically, as your water goes through, it goes in, but it filters through to the roots, but away from the roots, so it doesn't lie on the roots. That causes root rot. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. It's just more filtering through of water. That's what it's for. Other things we can look at is the soil. There is some areas where we can see where the soil is quite compact. I don't know if this area where I'm now, but yeah, here might be one. Your soil is compact, and that's not what you want. You want your water to be able to go easily into the roots, and this is now an established one. So, but especially for your young trees, not like this one. Yeah, again, full of weeds around it. But for your roots to develop, your young trees, you want your soil to be loose. This one is alright, the soil. If you look at it, I can feel some wetness around the tree. So this is not too bad, the soil. It's crumbly, so it means your water, it will hold your water in it, but it won't. So there is a good filtration system for this tree, for the soil. So if it's compact, let's take this one out. If it's like this, you can't go into it, so your water won't go into the soil. So so you want your soil around your tree to be crumbly. They say about 20 to 40% of clay. So it basically helps for your water filtration through to the roots to be much better. So your water don't flow away from the tree, that there's no water going in. So it does filter through, and with the ridges it takes it then away from the roots of the tree. So yeah, that's about on the soil that we have here. This is part of his irrigation system that he have here. This flows from a canal that's at the top where there is a pump that pumps through to these irrigation pipes, this drip irrigation. This is for an idea for fertilization. He's got some honey or some bees here. That helps for the fertilization of the trees, as these bees are very good for fertilization of the trees. So this is a very good idea for those kind of things. Other things that we can also for fertilization is things like is mulching. Mulching is also there for, again with your young trees, to protect your roots. This is now older tree, but it basically protects your roots from sunburns, from too much sun, so it doesn't, and the soil do not dry out in the soil. So mulching is basically, you have a lot of people use like wood chips or something like that. They basically put around the tree for protection from the sun. So that's, but yeah, that's so mulching is also good for the tree, and also that helps for the fertilization of your roots. You can also see on this tree, that's basically about a bit of sunburn on this, on these leaves here. So they're completely dried out. So so that's also then, yeah, for someone. So this tree is very open where it is here, but that is what you, I mean, it is a good thing, because you want your fruit to get sun, but also you don't want this necessary. So this is something that we can also, you can prune away from the tree. It looks like this is a dry branch on the tree, so I can actually just take it off. So this is a branch that's already been broken off. A lot of times it's good to these, when your branches have some disease on it. I'm trying to see if we can see something on here. Now, this is better to just take away out of your orchard and burn it if your branches have diseases on it. So basically, so it doesn't affect the trees, it's the tree where it fell from and those around it anymore. So yeah, this orchard will be going into I think from next year, this orchard will be harvested for production, or and I believe this stage is for export production. These are some lychee trees that we have here. So yeah, it will go in for export production. So they are going to start to work more on this orchard from in the next year or so. There's already been things done. This irrigation system has been installed fairly recently, and also these bees has been put here also fairly recently for the fertilization. So so things are being put in place to do it, but yeah, as you can see, it is something that needs a lot of work. There's a lot of pruning that needs to be done here, and also some orchard maintenance that needs to be done here, like the cleaning of the weeds around the trees. So yeah, a lot of things that need a lot of work here that needs to be done, but the basics are there: the water, for the water filtration, the soil. As I say, it's on a steep hill, so your water filtration through is quite good. So most of things are in place, but yeah, it's just things that we need to look at before we kind of start to harvest this, especially if you want to go into the export production. So yes, that's basically my video on some of the things I've learned. There's obviously a lot that I've learned. As I say, I'm not in the farming. This is quite new to me, but I'm not in the farming business. It's something I'm looking to do in the future, in the next few years. So I've learned a lot on the farming and what we have to look at in the orchard establishment, and yeah, a lot to take in. But this is, as I said, this is some of the things that I've looked at and that I've learned, and yeah, hopefully that will give us a few points. Thank you.